So welcome back to chapter 8. So this will be the continuation of the chapter 7. Here we will discuss about how to write a meaningful log file when test cases fail. So we already have a test case called verify web element login. So there we have seen like if the web element is not found, you write the console test case fail and quit the driver, etc. So this piece of code you can write this way, or you can write in more compact manner, which I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to comment this right now and we'll use assert. We have seen earlier assert.r equal comparing for the label. Right now I'm going to type assert.isTrue. If it is true, then it will return you 1. If it is false, it will return you as 0 and it will give you a meaningful message. So I'm going to do that in one line instead of having this. Assert dot is true. Okay, so inside I'm going to write this code. Copy this one, paste it over here. So let's do a small debugging session here. Okay, right now hit on the breakpoint. Yeah, in this case it went to the cache because user 1 is not available, and I'm going to run this. So test case failed. Click here, but here you cannot see the meaningful name, meaningful reason why the test case failed. So I can do this way. I can type after this same reason, test case failed as the user ID text box is not present. Yeah, so I'm going to run it again. Yeah, test case failed. Now we see that the test case has failed, but the actual cause of the test case failed is not displayed here. You see the cause is already written here. It says that test case failed as a user ID text box is not present. But this is an exception because user 1 is not present. That exception has passed into the cache, but this is not yet displayed. So it just displayed error test case failed. It didn't give you the really meaningful reason which position, which web locator is not found, or the place that is failed is not being properly indicated here. For that, what you should do here is you come over here, you write the general reason for why test case failed, but we don't know where it is failed, but you're going to write here as e dot. E is an exception, right? So you type it as e dot message. Okay, now I'm going to run this test case one more time. So the e will be exception will be passed here and will be captured here and will be printed in e dot message, so that when you open test dot you can see that message here, that message as well. I'm going to run this test one more time for you to understand. You can now observe that this test case has failed. I'm going to click on the failed test cases, click on to the output. Now you can see, okay, yes, in debug trace I can see test case failed. It's given you test case failed as the user ID test process is not present. This error test case failed is a general indication that this test case failed, but this is a very specific reason where exactly it got failed. Failed in the user ID. That means unable to even find this text box. It is missing here. That we are simulating that situation by actually entering a false user ID as user 1. Basically, user 1 is not existing. User is the one existing. You see here, user is a one web ID locator. So this is how you do a meaningful, so that you don't need to have these number of lines. We substitute this number of lines with just single line. But only disadvantage of this one is, if test case pass, it will not give you a verification point that this test case has been passed and verified with the test box ID. So that is available only for this condition. You see, this else condition is for that when a web element is not found, web element is found, then test case passed, you can see. So this indication will not be available for this essay. But when every test case is passed, we are not really going to bother where exactly is passed. But only when test case failed, we are going to bother where exactly is failed, correct? So in that sense, this is the best method of assertion. So that place, in that case, you can get exact information. Test case failed using this reason. Okay, so this is the one way of doing. So next thing, I'm going to record or log the failed information into a text file. So how do we do that? For that, I need to go to the common.1cs file. We're going to write a method for capturing the failed reason into a file. So if you have a file, at the end of your regression, you can go through those files. Okay, so you don't need to really go here and click onto the output and see test case file. That's one way of doing it. If you wanted to have it on a text file, then you have to write a method in common1.cs. We'll see how you do that. So here I'm writing a method right now, public void write to text file. You can give any meaningful if you want. I just wrote write to text file. Okay, so I'm passing a driver here. Also, I need to pass a parameter from this test case. The parameter is going to be a e, right? E is a text, and that text I'm going to print it here into a text file using this function called write to text file. So string, I'll type text to print in text file. Okay, so here I'm going to type system.io dot stream writer, and I let file 1 equal to new system dot again IO dot stream writer. I'm going to give the path. You can see that the path. What is that path? The path is the path for the folder where you're going to export. We are going to write into a text file. Example, I'm going to give a path. Where can I give the path? Okay, we already had seen earlier the path to capture the snapshot. So I'm going to use snapshot. So I'm going to use the same path. Copy this down. Okay, just click here, copy this path, Control C, come over here. I'm going to paste it here. So here I had to put add. Okay, so the error goes away. And after this, I'm going to add plus what file. You have to have the file called txt, text file. .txt is an extension for a text file. Okay, so you have system.io stream file 1 writer. You give the path. So we are expecting the failed text reason to write into a file. That file has an extension of txt, which is a text file. So a snapshot, you can change it and you can put it as yeah, snapshot is a path basically. Look one more time. Yeah, so yes. I'll give a file name here. So I get the path here. I'm going to write a name for the file called log text file. Okay, so right now we have file 1 over here, which has a text file. So here I'll type file 1 dot right line, then type text to print in text file. Okay, then you need to close the file. You are not supposed to open it. If you open it, then for the next test case it'll be problems. You need to close it. This is how you close this. Now we have built the method for capturing the log files, the failed reasons, into a text file. Coming back to the here, okay, go here, object 1 dot text maps, no, print. What is it? Function name, write to file. Driver dot e dot message. That means whatever captured here is passing over here. Okay, right now we're going to run this test case. Okay, everything is good. Yeah, test case failed. Come over here. You can see the reason here. Now come to the folder. Which folder you should go? You should go to this file, this path, desktop. Come over here. Okay, snapshot is already taken and log file is right here. It'll tell you a recent test case failed. as user ID text box is not present. Okay, so this is how you can use a text file to capture the meaningful exceptions. So you can print whatever you want here with more meaningful words. So that way, while you are analyzing your test cases during the regression, you might be having some 1,000 test cases. So this will become very easy for you, and you'll be having log file. You can give a meaningful text for the text file's name. You can also print when you have run this and meaningful name, which test cases this belongs to. That we will see in some other chapter. So in this case, you may not even need this boolean checking also. You just need only one line. That means these number of lines are replaced with this line. Okay. But the disadvantage is the reason for when test case passed, that means this portion will not be available for this, as I discussed earlier, but you may not require. But if you really require it, then you need to write this piece of code, every bits and pieces of every test steps this way. Set is equal. So that's all about I wanted to discuss on this chapter number 8. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe us. See you in the next class.